Have you ever found yourself stuck in the exhausting cycle of waiting for someone to change? Maybe it's a partner who keeps making the same hurtful choices, a friend who takes more than they give, or a family member whose behavior cuts you down. You try harder, love them more, show up better, thinking, this time they'll finally get it. This time things will be different. But it isn't. And it hurts. Here's the truth I had to learn the hard way. You can't change them. No amount of love, patience, or effort will transform someone who doesn't want to change. And that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? It feels unfair. It feels like all that effort should count for something. But here's the good news. While you can't change them, you're not powerless. You can change how you move, how you show up, and how you let their behavior shape your life. When life hands me those moments, when someone else's behavior hurts me or leaves me spinning, I've learned to resist the urge to dwell on what they did wrong. Because as tempting as it is, as justified as it might feel, pointing fingers doesn't help me grow. Instead, I turn inward. I pause, I take a deep breath and say to myself, what can I do differently? Not to fix them, but to stop giving them the power to hurt me again. I call it running the tape back. And it's not about blame, it's about clarity. When I run the tape back, I ask myself a series of questions. Questions that are sometimes uncomfortable, but always necessary. Did I overlook something? Did I dismiss behavior I shouldn't have? Was there a moment when my intuition spoke up and I ignored it? Did I set boundaries that weren't clear or didn't set them at all? And most importantly, how can I move differently next time? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's not about taking responsibility for someone else's bad behavior. It's about taking back your power, because here's the thing. You can't control what someone else does, but you can control what you tolerate. Think about it. Every time someone mistreats us, there are clues, breadcrumbs that if we pay attention, show us what we need to change. Not about them, but about how we engage with them. Maybe it's a pattern of ignoring your gut. Maybe it's being too afraid to set boundaries because you don't want to come across as difficult. Or maybe it's believing the lie that if you just love them harder, they'll finally see your worth. I've been there. I've made all those mistakes. And let me tell you, it's exhausting. You end up feeling like you're chasing something that's always just out of reach. But here's what I've learned. Growth doesn't happen when you're chasing someone else's approval. Growth happens when you stop, turn inward, and ask, how can I do better for me? Let's talk about what that actually looks like. It starts with boundaries. And let me tell you, boundaries aren't about punishing other people. They're about protecting yourself. They're about saying, this is what I will and won't accept, not because I want to control you, but because I value myself. It also means listening to your intuition. You know, that quiet voice inside that always knows the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. Too often we dismiss that voice because it feels inconvenient or because we're afraid of what it's telling us. But ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just makes the consequences louder later on. And then there's forgiveness. Not for them, but for yourself. For the times you stayed too long. For the times you overlooked the signs. For the times you tried to fix someone who didn't want to be fixed. Self-forgiveness isn't weakness, it's the ultimate act of strength. The next time someone hurts you, I challenge you to stop waiting for them to change. Instead, ask yourself, what is this moment here to teach me? How can I show up differently next time? How can I move in a way that prioritizes my peace, my growth, and my boundaries? Because here's the thing, they may never change. They may never apologize, never see what they did wrong, never grow into the person you wish they could be. But that doesn't have to define you. You have the power to move differently, to grow, to become wiser, stronger, and more intentional with every sideways moment life throws at you. So run the tape back, reflect, learn, and then with that wisdom in hand, step forward into your life with clarity and purpose. Because while you can't change who they are, you can absolutely change how they experience you going forward. They can't change, but you can, and that changes everything. If this video resonated with you, make sure you subscribe to the channel. and watch another video. I think you'd really enjoy Communication is Never Hard for someone who actually wants you, or You Can't Change Their Behavior by Loving Them Harder. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.